everybody, welcome to today's history lesson. Make sure you've got your pencil and some paper because I'm going to be asking you to do some activities whilst we're going along. So to start us off, I want you to have a think back to last week when we were doing our history lesson and we learned about some explorers. Can you remember what an explorer is? What they do? Fantastic. An explorer is a person who travels to new places or finds new things. So let's start with Christopher Columbus. What's his name? Fantastic. On your piece of paper or to somebody in the room, I want you to write down as many things as you can remember that you learnt about Christopher Columbus last week, or you can tell somebody in the room as many things as you can remember about Christopher Columbus. Pause the video, off you go. Well done, everybody. So these are the things that I remember from last week. See if you've got any of those. Christopher Columbus had 3 ships. He found America in the year 1492. He found new foods in America, and he told everybody in Spain about the things that he had found. If you remembered any of those facts, fantastic, well done. Right, we're going to do the same thing with our next explorer, Matthew Henson. What's his name? Fabulous, Matthew Henson. Same again, write down as many facts that you can remember about Matthew Henson, or tell somebody in the room as much as you can remember about this explorer. Off you go. Amazing, well done. So these are the facts that I've got. Matthew Henson was an African American. He left home when he was 11 years old. He explored the North Pole with a man called Robert Peary, and racism meant that he wasn't celebrated. Oh, that says fur, but it should be for. Racism meant that he wasn't celebrated for reaching the North Pole. Well done if you remembered any of those facts. And we've got our last explorer that I want to talk about, Neil Armstrong. What's his name? Fantastic, Neil Armstrong. Same again, write down as many facts as you can remember about Neil Armstrong. Off you go. Brilliant, well done. So let's talk through the facts that you might have written down or spoken to with somebody in the room. Neil Armstrong was an astronaut. He was the first man on the moon. He was from America. The rocket that he travelled in was called Apollo 11. And when he was on the moon, he collected rocks for 21 hours. I bet he was tired after that. Fantastic. Well done, everybody. I'm really impressed to see how much you've remembered from last week. So today we are going to be learning a bit more about Christopher Columbus. I am going to read this bit of information about this man, and I would like you to join in with your Kung Fu punctuation. Fantastic. So let's just quickly recap. Hopefully everybody has seen my little tutorial to help them with what Kung Fu punctuation is. Show me a capital letter. Fantastic, we put our hands like a triangle. Show me a full stop. Bang, well done. Show me a comma. Amazing. And those are the only ones that we are going to need for this piece of writing. So we're just going to think about those. Okay, get your capital letter ready. Christopher Columbus. He wanted to see the world to find new spices and land. Bang. He planned to sail all the way to the Indies, a place in Asia. In 1492, when ships were not as good as they are now. Bang. He also only had a map and a compass to guide him on the stormy seas. Bang. Columbus set off from Spain on 3rd of August 1492 with 3 ships called the Santa Maria, the Pinta, and the Nina. Bang. 10 weeks later, they found land. Bang. Although they thought this was the Indies, it was later found out that this was what we know today as the USA. Bang. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining in with your Kung Fu punctuation. Okay, now that we've learned a little bit more about Columbus, I'm going to cover up some of that information. It's gone. What I would like you to do is I would like you to see what you can remember. We're going to read it again together. And when we get to a blank space where there's a word missing, I want you to tell me what you think needs to go in that space. Are we ready? Fabulous. So Christopher Columbus, he wanted to see the world to find new what? What did he want to find? Shout it out. Fantastic. He wanted to find new lands and spices. He planned to sail all the way to the... what place in Asia did Christopher Columbus plan to sail to? What was it called? Can you remember? Shout it out if you know. The Indies. Brilliant. He planned to sail all the way to the Indies, a place in Asia, in 1492 when ships were not as good as they are now. He also only had a and a What things did he have with him to help him on the stormy seas? He didn't have exciting things like we've got now, like phones to help us. He had something completely different. What did he only have? Shout it out if you know. He only had a map. And he only had a compass. And a compass is an object that tells you where north is and where south is. So it helps you figure out where you are in the world. It points you in the right direction. Columbus set off from where? What place did he set off from? Fantastic. Spain. On the 3rd of August 1492 with 3 ships. Can you remember what his 3 ships were called? Write them down on your piece of paper. What were his 3 ships called? Okay, hopefully you have written down the Santa Maria, the Pinta, and the Nina. How many weeks later did Christopher Columbus find land? Can you remember how many weeks afterwards they found land after they set off on their journey? Shout out that number. It was 10. 10 weeks later. That is a long time to be on a boat. 10 weeks is nearly 3 months. I know, a long time. Although they thought this place that they'd arrived in was the Indies, it was later found out that this was what we now know today as what country? Fantastic, the USA. Well done, great fact finding. So this is a picture of Columbus's expeditions, all of his adventures that he went on to America, because he didn't just go once, he went a few times, as you can see. His first expedition was this red line here, and it shows you how they travelled across the sea. Can you remember where he started travelling from? It was somewhere in Europe, but what was that place called? Shout it out now. Spain, well done, well remembered. When it was Christopher Columbus going on his adventures in the 1400s, it was a very, very dangerous time to be a sailor because ships weren't like they are now. They weren't built the same way, they weren't as safe, and they didn't have the same equipment to help them navigate on the seas. So what do you think people said to explorers about going on dangerous journeys? What do you think people that knew Christopher Columbus were saying to him at that time? I've got an example here to help you. You want to be stuck on a boat for months with no nice food? You are weird, he stated. What other things do you think people might have said? You can either write them down or you can tell somebody near to you. What do you think they would have said about people going on these dangerous journeys? Pause the video, have a go. Fantastic. So you might have said something like, "You are crazy, you'll never make it back. There is nothing left to find, just stay at home." Or, "You will die because it's so dangerous to go on these adventures." And they were worried that people wouldn't be able to come back because they wouldn't have enough food, or they'd get lost at sea and they would never be able to make it back. They didn't get to have nice food on the boats. They only had to have things that would last a really long time. And somebody else was saying about there being nothing left to find. Maybe they thought that there was nothing else to find in the world and we should just stop. But not everybody thought like that. Some people thought it was exciting and very important to go on adventures. She whispered, "You might find a new land with lots of interesting food and treasure." What else do you think people might have said? People that think it's exciting to go on adventures and important to go on adventures. What other things might they have said? Once again, write it down or talk to somebody in your room. What might people say if they think it's important and exciting? What might they say to someone that's going on an adventure? Well done, everybody. So you might have said something like, you're going to get to see the world if you go on your adventures. We need to explore the world more to find out things about it. Fantastic. Yeah, they're all really good ideas. You might find something new with new food, maybe even find some treasure. You get to see places all over the world. Some people have never even been outside of Sheffield. So how exciting would it be to see the whole world? And we need to explore the world to find out more about it. That's really, really important. We can't expect to know things about places that we have never been to ourselves. So it can be exciting to be an explorer, but it can also be very, very dangerous. Do you think that sailors were brave or silly? And I want you to think of a reason why you think they might have been brave or silly. I think that sailors were brave because they were going to find out new things about the world. Or you might think that they were silly because they were going to get hurt whilst they were going on these journeys because they were so dangerous. What do you think? Write a sentence down or tell somebody in the room, what do you think of the sailors? Do you think they were brave or silly? Fantastic. I'm sure you've all got some really fantastic ideas. Okay, our next activity. We are going to decide whether we should or should not explore the world. And I've got some sentences here that we're going to sort out into whether they say we should sail or we shouldn't sail. Okay? So, you can have an adventure. Is that a reason for why somebody should sail or shouldn't sail and explore the world? What do you think? Shout it out. Should sail, fantastic. Having an adventure is an exciting thing. That's a good reason for being able to sail. Let's look at this one. You can meet new people and see new things. Is that a good reason for sailing or a bad reason? A reason why we shouldn't sail? Should sail or should not sail? Should sail, fantastic. If we're meeting new people and seeing new things, it's a good reason. It's something interesting that we can find out. You are away from home for months. Is that should sail or shouldn't sail? Think about how you would feel if you are away from home for months. Is that a good reason or a bad reason? Fantastic. It's a reason why we shouldn't sail. It's a long time to be away from your family. I'm sure you'd miss all your family and friends if you were away for so long. You can try new food in different places. Does that mean we should sail or we shouldn't sail? We should sail. Fantastic. Trying new food and going to different places is a really good reason for sailing. You could find new places. Should sail or shouldn't sail? You could find new places. Shout it out. Should sail. Fantastic. If we're finding new places, that's a good reason for sailing because we get to find new things. The food will be horrible on the boat. Should sail or should not sail? Shout it out. Should not sail. I don't want to eat horrible food. The sea is dangerous. Should sail or should not sail? Shout it out. Should not sail. If the sea is dangerous, we don't want to get hurt, do we? So we would not want to sail in that. The sea is stormy. Should sail or should not sail? Should not sail. Fantastic. Oops, couldn't see that one there. Oh, I can't figure out how to change it. Never mind. But that should go there. Should not sail. The sea is stormy. If it's stormy, it's going to make it more dangerous and we don't want to get hurt. Fantastic effort, Year 2. Well done. So, today's main activity that we would like you to do, I'd like you to please create a piece of drama as one of these characters. I'm going to talk about them in a moment. You're going to try to convince me and Miss Hamami for why Columbus should or shouldn't travel the world. Just like we were talking about then, you need to give reasons why you should travel the world, or you might need to give reasons for why he should not travel the world, and you're trying to make us believe you. We need to believe whether you think, yes, he should definitely go, or we need to believe you and think, nope, he should not travel the world. So, choose to be one of these characters. You might want to be Alonzo. Alonzo is Columbus's best friend. He doesn't want Columbus to go because he doesn't want him to be all on his own. Okay, so Alonzo doesn't want Columbus to go because he will be all alone. If you pretend to be Alonzo, you need to do your piece of drama, ask your adult to video you, or make a video on your own or with a sibling, pretending to be Alonzo. Columbus is your best friend. He's going to be all on his own. Tell me these things. Tell Miss Hamami these things on your video. Why doesn't he want him to go travelling the world? Why is it not a good idea? Why does he think he shouldn't go? You could pretend to be Columbus. So Columbus wants to go and explore. He wants to find the new spices. He wants to find the new lands. In your piece of drama, pretend to be Columbus. Tell us who you are. I am Columbus. I want to travel the world because, and then give those reasons for why you should go travelling around the world. You could pretend to be Columbus's mother or father. This person does not want Columbus to sail because they're really worried about him. The sea is very stormy. So they're worried that Columbus might get hurt or he might not come back from his adventure. So pretend to be Columbus's mum or dad, tell us who you are, and explain why you don't want your son to go travelling. And the last character is Lord Baltimore. This is a man who wants Columbus to explore so that he can buy lots of spices from him. He's too scared to sail himself, so he's making Columbus go on this adventure because he doesn't want to go himself, he's too scared. So why does he think that Columbus should be the person to go travelling? Okay, I'm really looking forward to seeing your piece of drama. Remember, you are telling us who you are, which character you are, and why you think Columbus should travel the world or shouldn't travel the world. And I can't wait to see all of your fantastic videos that you're going to send in to the class email. Bye, everybody.